On Global TV News Express, Nigeria renews suspension of flights to Niger Republic. Customs seek cooperation of communities in anti-smuggling operations. Federal government considers inclusion of cancer treatments in NHIS. On the foreign scene, Italian authorities arrest 14 migrants over alleged unrest after death of Guinean. In sports, CAF appoints Egyptian referee Omar for Nigeria-South Africa clash. Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Express here on Global Television. We're live in the nation's capital, Abuja. I'm Uyi Agumofwegbe. The federal government has revealed its plan to build 6 new cancer centers across the 6 geopolitical zones of the country. Minister of State for Health, Dr. Tunji Alausa, disclosed this at the World Cancer Day Symposium themed Economy, Tax and Cancer Control, the exit of pharmaceutical companies from Nigeria in Abuja. He said government has concluded plans to build 6 new cancer centers across each of the 6 geopolitical zones in the country. The cancer centers, it says, will be built in the University of Nigeria Teaching Hospital, Enugu, Ahmadu Bello University Teaching Hospital, Zaria, Federal Tertiary Hospital, Katsina, University of Benin Teaching Hospital, Benin, University of Jos Teaching Hospital, Jos, and Lagos University Teaching Hospital. The minister explained that the Federal Ministry of Health was able to secure additional funds to the tune of 20 billion naira appropriated 3 years ago for the building of the cancer facilities. The National Coordinator Cancer Control Program in the Federal Ministry of Health, Uche Owonku, has disclosed government's plan to include cancer treatments in the National Health Insurance Scheme, NHIS. He said this in Abuja at the Nigerian Army Officers' Wives Association NAOA Cancer Awareness Summit in commemoration of the year 2024 World Cancer Day. Wonku said the move was to ensure adequate and affordable healthcare services for citizens diagnosed with cancer, stating that the government has put in place the Cancer Health Fund, which provides comprehensive cancer care for patients. According to him, over 2,445 patients had been registered for the scheme, while over 750 patients were already being funded. The federal government has expressed worry over the rising prices of food and commodities in the country, which has led to protests in Niger and Kano states. Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, spoke during a bilateral meeting with a visiting German delegation led by the country's Minister of Economic Cooperation and Development, Servina Shows, in Abuja. Edun said the situation, which had produced growing discontent among the citizenry, was triggered by demand and supply forces. Said Kano State Governor Abba Yusuf lamented yesterday that many people in the state were living in misery amid starvation and acute hunger. Edun, who spoke in response to current realities, said the only way to address the situation was to boost agricultural production, in particular to force down inflation. Let's take a look at other stories quickly. The federal government has renewed the suspension of commercial flights from Niger Republic to Nigeria and from Nigeria to the nation's northern neighboring country by the Economic Community of West African States resolution. This directive was contained in a letter titled ECOWAS Restriction on the Republic of Niger from the Nigerian Airspace Management Agency, NEMA, Aeronautical Information Services, and signed by the Director of Air Traffic Services, Tayo John. It added that these restrictions do not affect overflight aircraft through Niger airspace, aircraft in a state of emergency, and special flights. It disclosed further that special flights are to obtain authorization from the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Aviation and Aerospace Development. Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Mohamed Pate, has expressed concern over the non-compliance to the compulsory treatment and care for victims of Gunshot Act 2017 in most medical facilities. Pate said gunshot victims come under medical emergencies that require urgent attention to save the life of the patient or victim. However, a statement signed by the Director of Information, Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare, Patricia Deworeshe, today noted that in recent times the society has witnessed a rise in the loss of lives as a result of the refusal of some health facilities to attend to gunshots and victims of one chance who do not present police reports. The National Population Commission, NPC, says birth certificates will not be issued to persons under age 18. The NPC State Director, Oyo State, Akinyo Yetunde, disclosed this and said, according to the Act of 1992, Birth and Death, the NPC is guided by an act that propagated it. So any child born before 1992 will not be issued a birth certificate instead of a birth certificate. People born before 1992 and those over 18 years will be given an attestation of birth stating that those below 18 years old will be issued birth certificates by the Commission. The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, has sealed 3 alcoholic beverage producing factories in Jos Plateau State for not complying with good manufacturing practice and operating without NAFDAC certification. Umar Suleiman, the Assistant Chief Regulatory Officer, Federal Task Force Investigation and Enforcement Directorate of NAFDAC, disclosed this when they led a team on raid in Jos. Suleiman said that one of the factories was also sealed for producing banned alcoholic beverages, adding that it also produced other products without the agency's registration. He said that the raid was conducted nationwide following the January 31, 2024 deadline given by the agency in 2018 to producers of alcoholic beverages to desist from producing alcohol in 100 milliliter, 20 milliliter, and 30 milliliter, as well as in sachets. The Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, in Jigawa State has arrested a 25-year-old man for alleged theft of 4 tricycles in Hadijia local government area. In a statement in Dutse, the state capital, the command's public relations officer, Badruddin Tijani, said that the NSCDC operatives arrested one Abdullah Idris for theft of the tricycles. While the case was under investigation, the suspect transported the tricycles parts to Wawarin, Matoyagako, and Gadun Seki in Adija, where he sold them to a scrap dealer. He added that the suspect would be charged to court after an investigation. The Nigerian Defense Academy, NDA, has launched the 60th anniversary emblem and presentation of the Long Service Award to its members of staff. Retired Major General Rabiu Aliyu, in his address, urged the Academy to improve its training curriculum to prepare cadets to surmount contemporary security challenges. Aliyu said that the Academy had played a pivotal role in shaping Nigeria's engagement at sub-regional, regional and global levels due to Nigeria's commitment to peace and security. The commandant of the Academy, Major General John Ochai, said that over the years it has continued to provide officer cadets with the skills and values necessary to meet the requirements of a military officer through training and character. The Nigeria Customs Service is seeking the cooperation of communities to ensure the success of its anti-smuggling operations. The Controller General of the service, Adewale Adeniyi, made this call in a statement issued by the National Public Relations Officer of the service, Chief Superintendent of Customs, Abdullahi Mewada, in Abuja. He restated the service's commitment to fostering harmonious community relations and conducting anti-smuggling operations without casualties. The Controller General of Customs assured the public that the matter would be handled appropriately, saying the driver of the vehicle is currently in police custody pending further investigation. Let's turn up north now, where the Kano State Police Command has arrested a notorious bandit, Isa Lawal, aged 33, from Benin Gwari area of Kaduna State. The operation, carried out on January 4, 2024 at Karaye local government area of the state along the Kaduna-Kano border, led to the recovery of 55 cows and 6 sheep. The suspect, a resident of Kaya village in Giwa local government area of Kaduna State, confessed to fleeing their Meidaro bandit camp in Benin Gwari local government area due to internal conflicts with the gang. Deputy Police Public Relations Officer ASP Abdullahi Hussaini, in a press statement confirming the arrest of the notorious bandits, commended the efforts of the police operatives and disclosed that the Commissioner of Police CP Muhammad Hussaini Gumel has directed the deployment of additional manpower and equipment to secure all Kano State borders. And still on security matters, the Nigeria Police Force have confirmed the arrest of its officers who abducted a businessman in Abuja and extorted 29.9 million naira from him in January. The force spokesperson, Olumuyiwa Adejobi, confirmed the developments through his X handle while disclosing that the force had taken significant steps toward ensuring justice prevailed in the case. The businessman was reportedly abducted at one of his sites in Abuja by armed police officers who detained him until he transferred all the money in his bank account to them. Announcing the arrest of the suspects in the statement, the FCT Command's spokesperson, SP Josephine Ade, stated that one AK-47 and 350,000 naira were recovered from the suspects. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has frozen an account belonging to Abubakar Ahmad Sirika, brother of immediate past Minister Hadi Sirika, over an alleged 8.06 billion naira contract fraud in the Federal Ministry of Aviation. The anti-graft agency made this known after the arrest of Abubakar Sirika over contract fraud worth about 3.2 billion naira that was traced to his private company, Enigros Nigeria Limited. It was gathered that 4 big contracts were awarded to Abubakar's Enigros Nigeria Limited when his brother was in charge of the ministry. According to the EFCC investigators, Abubakar Ahmad Sirika is listed as the company's managing director and chief executive officer, as well as the sole signatory to the 2 accounts linked to the firm with 2 banks. The Federal High Court in Lagos has today quashed the 21.5 billion naira money laundering charges preferred against the former Chief of Air Staff, Adeshola Amosun, and 2 others by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. The EFCC had on June 29, 2016, arraigned Amosun alongside a former Nigeria Air Force Chief of Accounts and Budgeting, Air Vice Marshal Jacob Adigun, and the former Director of Finance and Budget, Air Commodore Gbadebo Olugbenga, on the 26-count charge. The defendants were prosecuted for alleged conspiracy and conversion of the funds belonging to the Nigeria Air Force to their personal use. You're watching News Express, coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We are on Star Times, channel 276. Kindly follow us across our social media platforms using Global TV NG and other handles as you now see on your screen. When News Express returns, NNPCL dismisses fear of scarcity size distribution issue. The news continues shortly with details of this and more for you right after this short break. Do stay with us. This is Global Television, bringing you live broadcast of News Express with Uyi Agmofwebe. Thank you for staying with us. On the foreign scene, well-wishers have prayed quick recovery for King Charles III following the king's cancer diagnosis. The king was diagnosed with a form of cancer and had begun treatment, Buckingham's Palace said in a statement just a week after he had been discharged from hospital for prostate surgery. The palace also stated that doctors had advised the king to postpone public-facing duties. However, he would undertake official paperwork. No fewer than 14 migrants from 9 countries have been arrested by the Italian authorities in Rome for their alleged involvement in unrest spurred by the death of a Guinean migrant. The migrants were arrested in a repatriation center as they began to burn mattresses and haul objects at the law enforcement agents. The report revealed that the body of 21-year-old Guinean migrant was discovered at the center on Sunday morning. Police said one group reached parked police vehicles, setting one on fire, while another group entered a room where law enforcement personnel had kept personal items, which they took and destroyed. The suspect also destroyed 8 video cameras. And out of business, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited has explained the cause of the long queues in some filling stations in Lagos State. The NNPCL said the tightness was as a result of what it called a brief distribution issue. The company's spokesperson, Femi Shoneye, dismissed the insinuations of fresh fuel scarcity, disclosing that the company did not have supply issues, adding that its products remained readily available. He added that the distribution issue in some areas had been resolved. The Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission has expressed concern over the increasing violation of its limited interim regulatory and registration framework and guidelines by digital lenders, commonly known as loan apps. In a statement signed by the Acting Executive Vice Chairman and Chief Executive Officer, Dr. Adamu Abdullahi, the Commission highlighted a surge in infractions as more Nigerians engage with various loan apps. Abdullahi announced the Commission's commitment to intensifying enforcement efforts, ensuring digital lenders comply with regulations. In sports, following the Super Eagles' progression to the semi-finals of the ongoing Africa Cup of Nations AFCON in Ivory Coast, the team has earned a prize money of $2.5 million, equivalent to 3 billion naira. As one of the remaining 4 teams in the competition, the Super Eagles, alongside South Africa, their semi-final opponents, DR Congo and hosts Ivory Coast, have already secured $2.5 million. Prior to the start of the tournament, Confederation of African Football CAF President Dr. Patrice Motsepe announced a 40% increase in prize monies. The Confederation of African Football CAF has appointed Egyptian official Amin Mohamed Omar as the referee for Wednesday's Africa Cup of Nations semi-final encounter between Nigeria's Super Eagles and the Bafana Bafana of South Africa. The match, which will commence at 6 p.m. Nigerian time, will see Omar's compatriots Mahmoud Kamel Abdurregul and Ahmed Hossam Ibrahim playing the roles of assistant referee 1, assistant referee 2, respectively, while Sudanese Mahmoud Ali Ismail will serve as the 4th official. Atia Essa Amsad from Libya will be the reserve assistant referee, with Yaqub Ali Elmi from Djibouti as commissioner and Abubakar Dumbuya from Guinea as the referee assessor. The Executive Committee of the Cameroon Football Federation has rejected the resignation of Samuel Eto'o as president of the federation. Eto'o, who has won the Africa Player of the Year award 4 times, has faced charges of illegal conduct, match fixing, and corruption. The federation claimed its executive committee convened in Cameroon's capital, Yaoundé, on Monday to examine the national team's performance at the Africa Cup of Nations. Eto'o, who celebrated with the team following their thrilling win against Gambia in their last group game, has faced corruption claims in the past year. Away from Africa, a Dutch court today ordered the former Ajax and Netherlands international winger Quincy Promes to pay compensation to his cousin after stabbing him in the leg in 2020. The 32-year-old, who now plays for Spartak Moscow, had already been sentenced to 18 months in jail for the attack at a birthday party over a stolen necklace. The compensation amount will be specified at a later date. Lawyers for the cousin have reportedly claimed around €1 million, equivalent to $1.1 million. However, the final amount is likely to be lower. Promes has not appeared in court, and attempts to extradite him from Russia have failed. He had denied the charges and appealed at every stage. As we end News Express now, let's take a look at some of our top stories. Nigeria has renewed suspension of flights to Niger Republic. Customs have sought cooperation of communities in anti-smuggling operations. The federal government has considered inclusion of cancer treatment in NHIS, and on the foreign side, we told you Italian authorities have arrested 14 migrants over alleged unrest after death of Guinean. In sports, CAF has appointed Egyptian referee Omar for Nigeria-South Africa clash. And that's it here on News Express, and it came to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja, where Star Times Channel 276. Kindly follow us across all our social media platforms using our Global TV and other handles as you now see on your screen. I am Wiyag Mofwegbe. Thank you so very much for watching. On behalf of my colleagues here at Global Television, at the top of the hour, Anthony Mamodu will be here for the desk.